Hi Divya, very happy morning and congratulations once again from all our students and the staff
Thank
for
you
your
so much.
success.
Thank you.
Uh, Miss Chandni, the session coordinator, she will be starting with the introduction and then I'll be handing over to you. Yeah,
Okay.
Miss Chandni, can you continue?
Welcome, Divya ma'am. Welcome, Teja sir. So this is such a delightful session where every year, our students secure some rank and they come back, interact with their existing students and clear their doubts. So in this session, we will understand a journey of an IAS aspirant because I'm sure Ms. Divya have really worked hard. She secured all India 28th rank. So we'll try to understand her journey. Before that, I would request Teja sir to give some introduction about Divya ma'am so that our students will understand the journey in a better way.
Yes, thank you. Dear students, request all of you to switch on your cameras so that every one of you can have a lively interaction uh, and inspired from the success that she has achieved. And one more thing, success is neither new to Divya. She has already achieved a lot of things in her life. And even last year, it has been a very good rank. She has already been in service, and this year she got the best service. So, Ms. Divya, just I wanted to let you know, how was your success different from last year to this year?
Well, quantitatively speaking, in terms of ranks, so last year it was rank 312, based on which I joined Indian Railway Traffic Services, and this time it is All India rank 28, so I'll be joining the IAS. And
So
in
you
terms
have
of
been
feeling, in terms of feeling, it feels great because, like all the aspirants here, bright young faces, civil service preparation is a long, arduous journey. It's not an exam; it's a journey. So, in that sense, now it is coming to an end, and I can go to a different path now. So that relief is overwhelming. Thank you for asking.
so, and did your work experience help you to clear this exam, or did it help in interview?
Yes, I had worked for 3 years after my BTech in the corporate sector as operation manager. So I don't know if that would have helped me in studies, but that definitely gives that grit, determination, and the willpower because my profile was a field job at that time.
Okay.
So, and when I joined the IES, that is also going to be a field work. So there is a lot of proximity and a lot of motivation that I derive from that. But what would have helped is the thorough academic background, because I enrolled into PhD in IIM Lucknow in 2016. I have just completed it recently, so in that way, when you are into academics and you like to learn more and more things, being in UPSC, this is one thing that you have. Every topic you go to Wikipedia, you go to different online resources. So in that way, that helps, and that is, I think, common denominator for every aspirant, not just me.
Okay. So you mean to say that even the students who are preparing now has to broaden themselves, like rather than just having their experience only through books.
Definitely, sir. All those who are working, those who are not working, the experience itself is an asset. It's not a liability. That should be kept in mind, and it will always, give you more push to work harder.
Okay. So can you explain or say, can you give us your experience throughout this preparation process? How did you stay long for this many years into this preparation? And how did you had family pressure or support? How far you had all of these things? How did you keep this whole preparation uh, focused from all the deviations that we have in the real world?
So I'll begin with the first question. No, let me begin with the easy one. So about the family support and the ecosystem support. So my parents and my family has always supported my education and academic dreams. So there was no problem from that sense, as I think would be common to so many aspirants on this platform right now. And about the disturbances, so one thing I would like to share that being excessively on social media and the platforms may hurt you. So try to avoid that, because the preparation is a long one. It is going to be needing accumulation of a lot of facts and understanding those facts, because you're going to appear in the prelims very soon, and prelims is not going to be cleared just by the facts. You need to have the logical connection between those facts. So social media, not a good thing, not so much for the exam. Now the main question, that was the first question of sir, about the experience over these stages. So this is my third attempt. I gave my first attempt in 2018, and that year I cleared the prelims, mains, and interview itself. But I was not in the final list by 4 marks. In my second attempt, which was in 2019, I got 312, and in this attempt, third attempt, 2020, it is 28. So how the journey has evolved itself. So in my first attempt, I did not know much about UPSC. This is true. I was not writing any test series, mock interviews very less, and almost nil interaction with the faculties or the access of resources available to me. So that was not a good phase of preparation. And all those who are thinking that, for example, interviews about good English and interaction with the board member, no, it is not like that at all. English is fine, any language is fine, but you need to have the understanding. So what I
So
have
in spite, you secured a very good score, I believe. In
Yes.
spite of lack of preparation, you secured a very good score, even in mains, right?
Yes,
Just
yes.
that it was not in the rank, but still you get a very good score, I believe.
So that was because I have, and in the hindsight, maybe because I have thoroughly been academically inclined. So it is
Okay.
because of that in 10th, 12th, and my answer writing has been generally good. That would have helped. But that alone is necessary, but not a sufficient condition. I would like to
Yes.
share that all the aspirants, you need to develop the basic knowledge base. NCRTs and Spectrum for Modern Indian History, Lakshmi Kant, environment, everything. First do that diligently and then go into practice mode. Because the real exam, in that, in all the three stages, be it prelims, mains, or interview, you would need to practice more and more. So that will help you with the knowledge. Otherwise, knowledge alone will not take you through the whole journey. So this is what has been different in my second and third attempt, especially the third attempt, that I have practiced more on what I knew rather than trying to increase knowledge. So it is the other way around, different model of preparation, you can say. But it can only happen when you have studied the basic facts first.
And the very first question that you have tried to address, the students' concern, has already been discussed by many of our toppers. Some of the last year, last month, even some of the officers have interacted. That social media, handling social media. Nowadays, many of them, in, until they practically lose their 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years of time, many of them think that through various apps or through various social media, blogs, Insta, Facebook, they can prepare, they can carry out their preparation in terms of current affairs and all this. I believe that as you said, rightly pointed out, it only leads to knowledge, and knowledge alone cannot help. You need to carefully examine them and spend time with them, analyze them. So these are the things that are required. You should caution these students one more time, multiple times, about the usage of social media. That's very important. You
As
rightly did it.
As sir is rightly pointed out, so I am not against the online or digital education. I myself has been a beneficiary of that, accessing to different resources through mobile apps or through the websites, daily current affairs and answer writing, everything. Mostly more than 90%, it was an online preparation. But I try to stay away from those social media which are, where you consume the entertainment, which is not a UPSC entertainment. Let's just say that. Confine yourself to the UPSC. I am again not against any entertainment or not watching movies or not listening to songs. This is all good, but it should not be too much. don't of anything is that. And overall, I will say try to maintain a good balance and try try to be in contact with good friends who are also preparing. Try to be in contact with your faculty, because that way you will have that reinforcing feedback loop where even if you are feeling low, so somebody is there to guide you to increase your level of determination to crack the exam. Because I know so many people who cracked it in their fifth or sixth attempt, and you can understand the patience and willpower that is needed to sustain that long, and that does not come just from within. You need an ecosystem for that.
Can you guide the students on how to build that vibrant ecosystem to the aspirants? Because there are lots of friends or other places where the deviations keep coming. So somewhere at one point, as you said, if they feel low as well, the ecosystem is the one that keeps them moving towards that path. So can you suggest, can you guide them once on what kind of friends they should have been associated with, or the media that they should associate with, digital platforms or the other things?
Sure, sir. There are material aspect of the whole preparation, and there are moral and psychological aspect of the preparation as well. And it is only because it's a long preparation, takes years and years. So keeping that in mind, I would like to say that when we go to college, when we are in school, there is one group of people that that is very cool and that does all the cool stuff. Let's just say that. And you may feel you are into studies, and you may feel that I also want to do that. Otherwise, kind of trying to make friendship with that group. There is another group which is studying. Then there is a group which is in between, which does not know what to do. So I will say, if you are here today at this platform in this webinar talking to me, that means you already have the awareness about the civil service. There are so many people, especially the girls. I will say you are fortunate, you are lucky. There are so many students in rural areas. There are so many people who have so much difficulties in their life, and they are not even aware that there is this wonderful exam in the country. I am assuring you, people do not know many in our country, and they deserve. So have that confidence that you are already one step ahead of so many people. That you know that you are in a coaching platform, that you are talking to fellow aspirants who have been able to convert it. So have that confidence. Rely on your parents. Choose few people. They need to be need not be number of digits, but maybe single digit friends is also okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Need not be more than that. And then when you talk to them, always see that are you discussing academics, or even if it is non-academics, then when you leave that place, do you feel energized or do you feel low? That is the criteria. So if you feel low when you after meeting with them or after talking to them or chatting with them, then that's not good for you. Always have this energy balance check when you meet someone. I think that could be a formula for selecting out the right people for your ecosystem. And try to do meditation or yoga. There are so many things these days and online tutorials going on that surely will help. I have not myself done meditation as of yet, but I'm going to start and in the next 1 week or so, because I've heard people giving positive feedbacks about it.
Yeah. So, and the next, one of the student was asking, how did you choose your optional subjects and what guided you to choose your subject?
So optional, at the time I was selecting my optional, so I looked into the syllabus of. My BTech is in textile technology, which is not there in the syllabus, and then my post graduation is in management, which is there in the syllabus. But when I started my preparation, it was very early, so I did not have the command needed for the management optional. So I was left with two choices of my interest: sociology and philosophy. I opted philosophy solely because of one reason, and that was I was really interested in the subject. And what I did in the first 1 or 2 weeks, I studied it and I looked at the UPSC questions. And then I tried to figure out that am I able to write them in a nice way? Am I able to sustain with the subject for long? And in those 1 or 2 days of litmus test, I got an understanding this is good for me. And at this stage, after 3 years, I can say that had it not been philosophy, then my preparation of civil service would not have been this joyful. So you should derive joy from your optional subject, because GS is so much, it's overwhelming. So you need your optional, which can, relax you when you study that. And also the practical part, you need marks in that. But bear in mind, if you're interested in a subject, you will get the marks. So many people say that anthropology is good and philosophy is not scoring these days, but it is a myth, because in my first attempt, I did not have much knowledge of philosophy, trust me, but I did score 301 in philosophy in the first attempt itself. It was only because I was interested in the subject. I had studied it only for 4 5 months at that point, but yet it helped. So that is your test for choosing your optional.
So, anything else you would like to share in terms of values that students should inculcate? Because as you said, knowledge is on one side, reading preparation is on one side, and inculcating right values is the other side that keeps up this whole journey. So what values helped you in this process?
Um, Let me answer that question. Before that, I am curious to talk about one other thing. Can I do that?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So I don't know how many of you have appeared in the prelims last year in 2020. So if you remember, if you have seen the prelims paper, it is not just facts. You look at the questions. You could not have solved it by knowing just facts only. You needed a distilled wisdom. By distilled wisdom, I mean that when you prepare for mains, you try to cover the topic very comprehensively. And when you have that logic, reason, and overall awareness about that topic, then you are good to go in prelims as well as an interview. So your focus should be the mains preparation. And by mains, I mean comprehensive knowledge. Never lose out on that side. Otherwise, what will happen? It happens to so many students that they clear the prelims, but do not go up to the mains stage or interview stage because mains was not good. Or maybe if they go to the mains stage and appear in the interview, they are not in the list, which is the most disheartening situation. So if you want to be in the list, make your preparation very comprehensive. This will help you in both the directions, in the prelims as well as in the interview. Now the
Okay.
values now the values, it is very important. See, in interview itself, I have appeared in interview 3 times, and my understanding about the interview is they are not just judging you on knowledge, they are judging personality. And how will you judge somebody's personality? First, just imagine anybody you are talking to in your daily interaction. Is the person humble? Do they have humility? And whatever they have written in their detailed application form DAF, when the board talks to them in that half an hour, is the achievement reflected in their personality? And third, how much they are aware about the challenges of society, or how much compassion they have for the vulnerable section. So these are the values which are checked at the stage of interview, which you do not know, but it is getting checked, and that is where the marks vary, apart from basic things like articulation and confidence level. So you will get your marks because of the values in interview, but apart from that, in the overall preparation journey of UPSC, values like being sincere. Maybe you have not been sincere in your college or in your 10th or 12th, but if you are sincere right now about your preparation, about your dream, and if you are putting efforts, if you are committed to that, so you will, no matter what difficulties you have because of circumstances, you might be into any academic program, you might be doing a job, you might be having some issues at home, or I don't know, so many other things. Everybody has a story, right? But you will come across all of that. And apart from this, having faith in all the studies that you have done so far. Maybe you have not been able to clear prelims or mains or any stage, but have faith in all that you have studied, because it will pay off in the end. And then you will look back and then you will see, I might not have cleared it in that year, but it was because I was lacking on that. But this year I did that, and now I'm here. So that satisfaction will be there in you. So it is your hard work. You derive confidence from that. Confidence will always come from there, and always be in touch with your mentors. And I see not just teachers, but mentors. Seek mentorship, because you for UPSC content is everywhere, but mentorship is not everywhere. So you need that.
And your first point that you have highlighted, that some students keep only prelims in point of view and start complete all the subjects, compartmentalize it, and then they think they can prepare for mains. That is not what you have been focusing upon. It should always be comprehensive. It should be like it leads to partial understanding of certain things. It might sometimes lead to misunderstandings as well. So many beginners make that mistakes. They keep only prelims in point of view and think that it is only objective. And in spite, prelims is more analytical, as you said. Without mains preparation, you will never ever clear prelims. So that's a very useful point for the beginners. As
Yes,
most of the people who are attending here, they're all beginners. They are
I know
about
it
to write.
is overwhelming at this stage. I know if you are a beginner, then it is a vast syllabus and content from almost more than 20, 30 sites. And it is, I am being very conservative when I say 20, 30. It can be more than that also. But, after a certain point of time, when your base of the pyramid of your knowledge is going to be there, then all this content from different sources will become repetitive. So don't worry about that. Have faith and patience. Give yourself some time. Stay with the studies, stay with the flow. And you will yourself see that your knowledge is there. Now you just augment it, practice on it, and you'll be able to clear it.
Okay. So can we take up some questions from the students? They have already sent it through the mail, most of them by now.
I have one question, a very I will say difficult or easy one. How to how to start preparation of civils from start to end. It is
That's what we have been all discussing so far, I believe.
okay, so start to end. I will say have faith in your preparation, because so many times you're going to you're going to be confused about your own knowledge. When you write the prelims question paper, you are getting so many wrong answers every time you miss. But it's just, it's stay with that. Stay with the bad performance phase also. Good performance will only come after that. So if you have that faith, if you love the study part of the preparation, and if you understand that if you are going to be a civil servant, you are going to be needing all the knowledge which you acquire during the preparation phase. Otherwise, how will you go, how will you be part of the state? It is not possible. You want to work for the people, but you have to know their problems. So in GS2 you read about poverty, GS1 poverty, urbanization, women issues. So read them to become a good civil servant. So read them in this spirit also. These all psychological rationale will help you whenever you feel demotivated. And I mean, short
There's a
answer is only hard work. Just believe
yes.
in hard work only. That is the solution from start to end. Do not listen to anyone, not listen to yourself also. Just do your hard work.
There's a question from one of the students. So what do you want to get into? Which service you want to get into, and what is your vision in that service? What do you want to do once you get into that service?
That's very, very wonderful question. I will say my education, my schooling is from Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya. I'm a Navodaya Vidyalaya student. If you know about Navodaya Vidyalaya system, so they are for rural talented children. More than 90% students are from rural areas and brilliant students. So my vision is that when I join the service, I am going to work there. I am going to encourage students. I'm going to, develop partnerships, coalitions with maybe the private tutors, industries, and I'm trying to, give them the access to education, so that, we are sitting on so much potential in our country. We are going to be what 1.4 or 6 billion by 2046. So much energy, so much energy needs to be channelized. Good education, good health, and women especially all time. Because there is the Christine Lagarde. She said that if women participate equally with the men in our country, then our GDP will grow by 27%. And it's a huge number. If we want to compete with China, China is our strategic enemy, you know. It's so we have to, you have to study, you know, to defeat China. That is how it is going to happen. So I have these visions. There are many, but primarily vulnerable section, women, and making our country a $5 trillion economy and putting my efforts to ensure that.
Uh, One more question from one of the students. He's working in an IT company. So how do he, what suggestions you give him to manage between his profession and preparation?
Well, I can understand it must be very difficult, but if you have decided to prepare while even being in this job, it speaks volume of your hard work. So my congratulations to you for even this thing, that the raw material that you already are. There is already a channelized program, proper ways of preparing. So that is not a problem. You, even if you're attempting the prelims this year, then I am hoping that you would have gone through the basic syllabus, the NCRTs, the other basic books. You need not go into, you know, the Granth, all of that. Just have the basic knowledge. You would have practiced well, clear the prelims. And for mains, you have to be comprehensive. I will not use any other word other than that, because comprehensiveness is the key to have a better score in mains and answer writing. There are so many lectures online on YouTube and toppers copies available, which I have also referred and you can also refer. So look at them, how they are writing it. What is the introduction and body and conclusion, where they are using diagrams. Those diagrams need to be relevant. Use statistics. Do not shy away from using statistics, because it gives that factual certainty to the examiner and to you also, that what you're talking about. And when you are through the mains stage for interview, always try to first work on your DAF, but never leave the non-DAF section, that is current affairs. And if you are in a job, which is your case, then I will suggest devote at least 3 to 4 hours if possible, or at least 2 hours, but on a sustainable continuous basis for your preparation. And if your job is more a cognitive one, does not require a lot of field work, then even when you are working, you can think about some topics, some issues, and just ruminate on them, on those topics, and reflect on them. That will help.
Yeah. There's the next question. How to take notes from Kurukshetra Yojana and other magazines, and at the same time newspaper? Do you suggest reading newspaper and making notes from that is more important, or magazines, or a balance between the two?
In my experience, it is you do not, you know, you want your resources to be as diversified as possible, because you do not know what will come from where. But when you diversify, the quantity increase and quality may go down, because you also have a time constraint. It's a vast syllabus. Resources are too many. So what you do is that in newspaper, so I will use an example. In newspaper, you read the editorial section. There are so many editorials, some pro, some anti-government, and some have very good maybe quotation to you, for you, some statistics. So there are so many topics in GS. There is a for geography, for history, for urbanization, for women, for children, and for agriculture. So you try to, if in a hard copy or in a soft copy, maintain these files. When you get a data, note it down. When you look at Kurukshetra, for example, if the topic is, let's just say, farmer agriculture extension services, if this is the topic, then there is going to be so much data on that Kurukshetra. But pick the relevant data, because it's too much. So relevant when, and how would you know how it is relevant? By looking at the previous year's question papers, because that will give you idea what data to pick and what not to pick. Otherwise you will end up with so much and you will not be using that in your answer. So picking right data, looking at the previous year's question papers, and answer writing yourself in that time period. That will give complete knowledge of what you need and what you do not need. because what you do not need is as much important as knowing what you need in writing your answers.
Ma'am,
Yes.
Let me complete.
I recently completed my 12th boards, ma'am. Is it the right time to prepare for UPSC, ma'am?
Well, given the way competition is, I will always say it is the right time. Had you been in 10th class also, I would have said, no, if you're thinking it is good, go ahead. No, it is right time, really. You have completed your 12th, you are crystal clear that you want to be a civil servant. It is the right time. You should start your preparation. And all those who are not in 12th, who are in their graduation, and you are thinking that he's start preparing too early, don't worry. You have the wisdom of years that will help you. Don't get disheartened. Okay, Neeraj, have I answered your question?
Yes, ma'am.
There's one more question. Multiple people have asked this question. What and when you got this inspired you to get into this field of civil services?
So can you please repeat the question? I could not hear it properly.
When and what inspired you to choose this field? This was asked by multiple people, multiple students.
Wow, inspiration. You know, I think
It's a very common question, but it is a point that everyone
it is
asks.
important one.
Yes.
I think what I say will resonate with many candidates here. So all those who start preparation, what happens is first you know that there is something civil servant and IS we all are aware about, but let's just say civil service. So we try to know a little more about that. Then we type in Google, then we hear it. Then somebody else, you know, once you start touching the UPSC system, it starts touching you back. You know more and more, more and more, and finally what happens, you look at the syllabus and you start writing, and then there is this magnetism in the UPSC preparation itself. It will draw you in, all the way in, no matter you are in job, no matter what you are doing, it will dominate every aspect of what you do. Because I have myself been preparing while being in an academic program, so I was also trying to do the time management while I was preparing, but nothing could stop from the UPSC's charm of preparation. So I think in my case, it is that only, that I just love the profile which UPSC offers to us as a citizen of the countries. We can do so much. And second is the preparation itself is a big charmer.
Okay. So this was a very wonderful session. Hope this inspired every one of the students. Yeah, there can be chances for one or two questions, but ask and something which is very useful for the preparation.
I believe we have one hands up by Rutuja.
Rituja.
Yes, yes. What is your question, Rutuja?
Ma'am, I have given 12th examination and I want to select the subjects for graduation, and my final goal is appearing for UPSC. So which subjects will help me?
May I know you are from which background? Have you taken in 11th and 12th history and
Science background, ma'am.
science background? So, which subjects you like? Do you want to study anthropology, philosophy, sociology, psychology, or do you want to study physics, science, chemistry?
Ma'am, I am interested in psychology, but I have no idea about the subjects.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. What you do is look at the syllabus first, okay? Once you look at the syllabus of the optional, then again look at the previous year's question papers. See, is that exciting you? Are you able to answer? Does it challenge
Yeah.
you? When you do that two things, then the third thing is go into the YouTube and listen to the people who have cleared the UPSC using psychology as an optional. What do they have to say? Go into the relevant websites. So you begin by doing that, and using this method and continuously going to UPSC question papers also, because that is the real test for you, that are you able to handle the question. And then I think you should finally choose your optional. And otherwise in all the rest of the subjects, it is easy because you are so aware that even you just cleared your 12th and then you are going to prepare for the civil service. So this awareness and sincerity will help you, I'm sure.
Okay, ma'am, thank you. But ma'am, I have always fear in my mind that will I able to crack it or not, because I'm not aware about the subjects, about the pattern of examination and all.
Oh my dear, nobody is clear about the subject. Nobody is. I am not. I was not clear. Nobody's clear. And by the time optional paper is the last mains paper when you write the mains. So when you come out of that, you get a sense. Okay, I've done well, but even clarity is even not at that time. So forget about when you are clear or not. It is just passion, hard work. Focus on that. Clarity will come. Give it's time taking process. Give it some time. Have patience. It will come.
Okay, ma'am, thank you so much.
Hello, ma'am.
Hi, Kokila. How are you?
I'm fine, ma'am. How are you, ma'am? Nice to see you. I'm
I'm
very happy to see you.
It is really nice, talking to fellow aspirants. I feel more closer to you than to anything else right now because, I feel myself listening to the talks when I was right here where you are. So go ahead with your question.
Actually, I have joined Pragya on September only, ma'am. I'm a beginner. I don't know anything regarding. Actually, I don't know how to start because I even don't think like would I am able to clear because I have an inspiration like I should become when I saw you like yesterday like I should one day crack exam and be in your place and lecture all the students and one thing ma'am I was really uh, moved the way you are like so simple so cool like always energetic like can you give me some tips like how not only it about studies how to be motivational all the time how to groom ourselves like how we need to interact with people how you are able to be an all-rounder like you're in all the way like you will work you will study you have achieved your dreams like you're from actually you're from textile sector you said ma'am like I am also a btech graduate I am from electronics, ma'am. Actually, I don't have any knowledge. Actually, my friends told me you have to be careful while choosing the optional. So, what do you think? Actually, I don't have idea of. Actually, I'm good at maths, but I don't think choosing maths as my optional will help me. Can you give me any tips whether I'm thinking to opt sociology as my optional because I really want think like looking at the social issues like thinking scientific study of the society is very important so I thought of taking that because if I am able to study the entire society like maybe that helps me maybe I'm good in that I don't know actually I have vague idea of what I should choose can you please help me out ma'am please
Okay. So, okay. First of all, you are confused. It is the good thing, really good thing. It shows that you really want to do it. So
yes
confusion is because of so many options and choices. So it is good. So
yes
this is a good sign first.
Mhm.
And second, about your optional. So you are good in maths, but you are saying that sociology you are pondering upon. So I will suggest sociology also has a good success rate. So many toppers I know have been from sociology also helps you in the gs1 especially, then it helps you in the essay writing, sometimes in ethics writing. But these parallels can be found from other optionals as well. Well, maths is a little far away from helping you in gs and essays and ethics, but rest of this humanities optional, like for example my philosophy, sociology, and so on, there are overlaps. So you what you do, you try to write some answers. Why not do that, right? You look at the questions, write some answers, and go to the faculty, show it to them, because it is a it's an important decisions. I will not discount that fact. Your optional is important. So you try doing that. You are good in maths is one thing, but are you good in maths in UPSC format? I have not seen the mathematics paper, but also talk to some people who have cleared it using maths optional, because in 2018 we had AIR one from maths, so that has happened. So mathematics is also a good subject. End of the day, it boils down to your interest in the subject. And other confusions which are there about the preparation and staying motivated, I will say yes, rely on the people for that, your friends and family, but you are yourself your biggest source of motivation always. And your motivation will come from the bundle of the success and failures good or bad marks in your mock examination. And I will just urge all the students here that because you are starting just now, that you will be doing classes, there will be some homework, some mini test, sectional test. Do not miss out on that, because that shows insincerity, and it will drag you down. It will drag you down to such an extent that it can increase your another cycle of exam. That if you are supposed to become whatever you want to become in X year, might become in X+1 year. So don't do that. All the tests and exam, be punctual on that, whatever you are doing. So all the freshers like you yourself, Kokila, this is the advice, that your schedule, follow the schedule. It helps. Keeps you disciplined, keeps you motivated. You are feeling low, high, does not matter. Write the exam. Be ruthless, be ruthless for some time. So this is the advice.
Ma'am,
Yeah. Some of the students also does the same thing, like they wanted to prepare everything and then write the exam. That day will never come, even
That they
after
will never
getting
come.
after
Yes.
1 year.
Yes,
Exactly.
they will never come. It is like, in operations, we use the word WIP, work in progress. So your preparation till the time you see your name in the list is a work in progress. You will never feel that, yes, you have prepared. For instance, art and culture for me, I will give you my example. Every time I write prelims, every time I write mains, even in an interview, I read the same book and then I think it is not ready yet, because it is not ready yet. Yes. So look at that, and this is just one part. There are so many topics on which I feel that I should have studied more. So it will
Exactly.
never end. That dissatisfaction is good. That keeps you motivating.
So I think it's time, ma'am. So nice of you. So nice to spend time with our students. Definitely, not only these particular people who participated, but this particular session will be shared with hundreds of other people who will also be inspired throughout their preparation, throughout their guidance.
What you are doing, sir, is a really, really nice thing, providing platform to the candidates to connect with those who have been through this journey, who have walked this path. And, it is good for me also, because I know what you all are feeling. I have felt the same, I've been through the same. Our stories are almost the same, but, we have diverse background, but the common foreground. All are going for the civil service. So let us focus on that. We will be energetic, right? And we will motivate ourselves, and we will stay dissatisfied, we will stay we will stay sometimes irritated. It is fine, it is the part of the process. And if some people don't like you because you are like that, it is also okay. They will like you when the result comes. So be happy with yourself, have faith in yourself. That is the message.
and one last question, ma'am.
Okay.
There are almost 47 NCRTs, I think, from 6th to 12th. It is necessary to read all the NCRTs, or we need to choose only like particular NCRTs which are more important?
Oh, Neeraj, these are NCRT. Why you are being so cruel to them? They're NCRTs. They are so lovely, small, little, and look at the new ones. They have cartoons on them. I read them before the preparation, and just one time. I did not read NCRT again and again. So just first reading. You do
Okay.
that. You all of that. Just first reading, because our NCRT alone will not be sufficient. You need to go to a spectrum in art and culture. You will need to go to for world history into different domains. So do the NCRT just once, and do that with so much love and affection. If you are from CBSE or not CBSE, NCRTs are wonderful books.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. So can we wind up the session?
I think we can from my
Sir,
side.
sir, there is a student who have been posting one question continuously. Can we please address that?
Yeah, let me check it.
Yeah, the question is, should we have plan B?
Plan B. Okay. Look, whoever has asked this question, what is in my experience? So I always was doing two things. So in my case, I always had the plan B, but I assure you, I never looked at the plan B. Second, I know so many candidates through the talk interactions with them, that many just devote themselves completely to the preparation. They don't even think that there is to be a plan B or C, anything. And there are some who have the plan B. So it is entirely your risk taking appetite. When you are a civil service aspirant, you become an entrepreneur also. You take the risk. So it completely depends on your situation, how you are placed, what is the number of attempt, and what is your success rate, how confident you are. But at this is I'm not feeling very conclusive. It's your life choice. I can't say should have plan B or not. But in the conventional wisdom of the world, if I am being like an elder sister to you, I will say yes, plan B is good. Plan B is good. But plan B, what it does, it may drag from you some energy which you might need for the preparation. It may make you complacent. So it is difficult to answer. Try to have a balance. But anything and everything that compromises your preparation of civil service, just eliminate that, please, even if that is your plan B or C. Plan B is good as long as it gives you energy to prepare.
So,
I
fine.
don't know if I have answered the question or not. It is a life choice,
So
having plan B or not.
we got the point. I think he should get the point that there is no looking back once you
There is
strongly
no looking
determine
back.
this.
And there are other stakeholders also in your plan B. If you're married, then your spouse, unmarried, then your parents, and so many other people who all have a say in your plan B or C. So it is the case. So I am really not the authority to suggest that. But your test for plan B is that this only, to the extent it helps you in your preparation. Anything is good. To the extent it harms, it's not good. So it's your prerogative, dear.
Okay. Congratulations once again, Divyaji, for all the success, and hope the rest of the career that you're going through will see a lot more successes. And we believe this is just your starting point of your success. You'll have a lot more successes to come across. And we wish you guide many more of our students who are about to get through this goal of civil services. Thank you
Thank you
once
so much,
again.
sir, for the kind words. And thank you to all the aspirants for coming and listening to me. It feels great. I get energy from you, your smiling faces, all these ones. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.